We're done. So, after 15 minutes of technical difficulties, hopefully you can hear all of us.
I
I'm
hope so
Joe.
too.
That's Aero.
What's up?
Let's work through this. There's our Twitter handles. Joe Animated, AeroBlip. We're going to quickly hop through some news and then get into the fun stuff.
Do it.
Time of Eve Kickstarter raised $230,000. Blu-ray discs for everybody. Should be a lot of fun.
Yay! The prizes actually were pretty impressive.
They
Like you
were.
get a bunch of nice fan art and stuff. Like not fan art, exclusive art and all that and jazz. Good
Yes.
stuff.
Good stuff. Next up, Data Live gets another season.
I'm pumped.
I know you are. But looking
Well,
at this picture here, all the girls look alike. All they do is change the hair and eye color.
Uh, I think you need to shut up. And who cares?
All right. I'm just saying. Moving on. Little Witch at Anime Expo.
So yes, I forgot. There was a small group that broke off from what is it? Anyplex? No, NIS America. Essentially, what they did is they announced that Little Witch Academia, you can get a special limited copy at Anime Expo with English subtitles for us Americans.
And then,
All right.
all right, let's, now that we've skipped through some of the news. Blu-ray sales. Are these last week's approximate numbers then?
No, these are this week's. So everything that got updated today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Girls on Panzer, of course, raging through. Oremo Season 2, though real
A real seller right
surprise
there.
there. Love Live Volume 4, kind of surprised.
Yeah. I mean, people like their Love Live. I don't. I really don't. I really can't explain it. Like people just like their Love Live. Again, I really don't know what's so appealing about that show. But I think the important thing is that Girls in Panzer is. I think this is the biggest first week selling it ever had, as far as the entire franchise goes. So, good for them. Good for them to make money. Good for us.
Garden of Words makes a small...
Well, here's the thing.
People
I
say
don't
they
know.
can't hear you still. I don't know what else to do.
Wait, hold
It's
on. I can hear.
broadcasting on mine.
I can hear me on the Ustream, so I
I
think
think we can. Yeah, if you can't hear him, try reloading the web page. Is all I can really say. It's. I can hear Arrow on my Ustream check. I think you can hear yourself, right, Arrow?
yes, I can.
Okay.
Anywho, yes, Girls in Panzer selling like hotcakes, like unbelievably. What else? Chunibyo, that surprisingly got the. I'm pretty sure the last ones never broke 10,000 on their first weeks, so it's kind of surprising how this volume did. But it could be just because of the fact that there was an OVA bundled it in as well. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Psychopaths makes the list, but not very.
It's a very poor performance by Psychopaths. I'm not really sure what's going on with Psychopaths. I thought it was going to be popular in Japan, but apparently that is not the case. So, Japanese people don't like hyper roads, I guess.
Apparently not.
Do it.
So we had questions, questions, questions.
You want to show me those questions?
Let's do it. So, first question. Have you ever cosplayed before or will attempt to cosplay?
Well, I'm assuming you haven't, Joe.
I have
Right?
not, no.
Okay. Me, well, I did once. When I was 6 years old at a Halloween party, I was dressed up as grapes. And then I think my other friends were the other Fruit of the Looms. So other than that, no, I don't cosplay.
But what would you cosplay as?
Me?
Yeah.
There aren't that many black anime characters, so it's kind of hard.
You could do the sushi guy from Durara.
He's Russian.
He's still
Uh, yeah, but I don't know. Cosplay is not my thing. I rather point and laugh and not spend money on clothing that I'll only wear once. I don't know. Cosplay is not my thing. I barely go to anime conventions as it is. I barely hang out with people in public that do anime, and I'm just no, no. I don't want to embarrass myself.
All
I
right.
have a reputation.
I have never cosplayed, and if I do, I mean, it's hard for me to actually cosplay as anything without wearing a lot of wigs or something. I'm a tall, skinny white guy with red hair. Not a lot of characters naturally fit that role.
You have red hair?
Yes.
I don't.
Strawberry
Well,
blonde, not technically red. It's strawberry blonde.
oh well. I mean, I always see Calvin and Hobbes, so I always figured that you had blonde hair.
It looks kind of like that.
Oh, anyways, that's a shame.
So I mean, like Ichigo is a natural fit. I could wear like one of the white jumpsuits. Remember which opening or whatever it was had them wearing white jumpsuits?
The first one?
Was it the first one? Yeah.
Yeah, because they were wearing the white jumpsuits with like the red and blue stripes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Could pull that look off.
yeah.
All right. Next question.
What is it?
What is your guilty pleasure with regards to anime?
Let's see. It's not so much I'm guilty about it, but at the same time, I won't publicly
Here.
admit it that often.
Hold on just a sec. Ustream.
What now?
Ustream choked again.
Did it really?
Yes. Fuck. This is not our night.
I think you're
There we
lying.
go. We're back. Go for it.
Anyways, so guilty pleasures. I guess Ustream don't want me to say what my guilty pleasure was. Uh, I would say it's the harem genre. I don't know why. I am a big fan of romantic comedies. So yeah, I'm gonna say that.
See, for me, it's kind of it's the shonen shows like Hunter x Hunter.
But I
Whatever
heard
it is,
Hunter x Hunter's good though.
it is good, but I like that. I used to watch Naruto and Bleach. I like the traditional power up and kick butt.
You mean the tournament style, or
Tournament style. It's kind of fun, you know.
okay?
Like one of my favorite arcs in anime is the Cell arc from Dragon Ball Z.
But that one was just legit good though.
True, but it's a lot of people don't a lot of people don't give Dragon Ball Z a chance because it's the shonen show, but that's a legitimately good arc. The original arc in Bleach was really good. The Chunin exam in Naruto.
Well, I think that's more. Well, what does that really say about you? Because I mean, you like these shows, right? But I wouldn't really consider that a guilty pleasure. I mean, there's a reason
People
why.
rage against those shows.
Well, that's because they're fucking stupid. And if they were really raging, Toonami would not be having like a million viewers.
That's
like,
true. So I guess guilty pleasure shows. Let me think.
Yeah.
More guilty.
Like, I mean, for me, like I said, I would go more with the harem genre. But even then, it's not really a guilty pleasure. Like, I admit, I like what Maou-Chiki came out a couple years ago. I fucking love the shit out of that. The other week, I got really bored, so I watched that Daimao, which came out in 2012.
Demon King Dino?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, like,
I'll give you that. That kind of show is a definite.
but what I'm saying is that like
guilty pleasure.
I like those kind of harems where there's just over the top, really rambunctious. They have character. Like it's a show that never treats itself seriously. That's why I can dig like Date Lives. A lot of people rag on Date Alive, but you know what? I like Date Live. You know, I like those shows.
All right, I can give you that. Somebody comments, pleasure is usually pervy anime and Sympho gear.
You should be proud that you like Symphogear. Pervy anime, I can also relate to as well because I guess for me that kind of goes hand in hand with the harems.
Okay.
So, I mean, you get your clean harems like Mashiri or Symphony, but then you get your dirty ones, kind of like your Daimao, your Maou-Chiki. Oh god, your Maou-Chikis. Oh man, Maou-Chiki. I should rewatch that. That was a good
All right,
time.
moving on. Which is better, Date Alive or Crime Edge?
So again, I still think a lot of people give Data Live not enough credit. For a show with that ridiculous of a premise, it does what it wants to do quite well, which is it gives it interesting main character. Well, interesting enough for a harem, and at the same time, like the whole spirits thing, and it's like it knows what it wants to do and it does it well. That's the thing. Crime Edge, on the other hand, I feel like more people would like Crime Edge because one, it's not a harem, but Jesus though, that is it's a very very shit. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I mean, there's people licking each other. There's like stabbings. I mean, another character gets like scissors in the mouth, and then the main character snips. Like, it's a very twisted, I guess, kind of show. So, if I had to recommend one, I would say Crime Edge. But personally, I would dig Date Alive more.
So I've only watched one episode of Date Alive, and I watched 3 episodes of Crime Edge. So I have no real good opinion on any of this, but I would recommend Date Alive as well. I think it's edgy enough and it's weird enough to maintain
You mean Crime Edge?
Did I say Crime Edge? Wow. Did I say Data Live? Crime Edge is
Yeah.
creepy enough that it's worth watching more than 3 episodes.
Yeah. Data Live, you watched the first episode, but the first episode is the worst episode,
It's
though.
absolutely terrible.
Yes. But it does get better.
All
It
right,
does get better.
moving on. If you're going to run a panel at a con, what would it be?
Actually, oh, this one's been a good one. I really liked reading this question. So it would be a toss-up of two things. One, I would probably just do a Friday anime podcast live and see how that would roll. But I'm not popular enough to pull that off, so a lot of people are just going to go there and be like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?" So I guess the panel, if I want to be structured and more professional, it would probably be doing, I guess, my personal experiences with trying to get non-anime fans to watch anime. Over the past year, I've met a lot of people they've heard of anime, they know of Pokemon, they know of the Japanese cartoons, but they don't watch either the mainstream. They don't watch the mainstream like Naruto or Bleach, or the currently airing stuff, kind of like what we have with our seasonal shows. So, I guess if anything, I can give a panel discussing the do's and don'ts of when trying to convince someone or introducing someone into the anime culture and the industry itself. And it's a lot more difficult than you think it is, because you really just can't say, this is my favorite show, ergo you watch it. And there's a lot of hand-holding in the process as well. I mean, this works with a lot of hobbies, whether you're trying to introduce your friends to a sport, or say trying to pick up a certain comic book series or a novel series. But considering how, it's more of a medium where you're watching something as opposed to doing something,
Mm-hmm.
it's all in the experience. So you have to make sure that they're enjoying or getting the entire experience. So that's what my panel would be.
So for me, I think something along the lines, has two options, right? One would be why 2006 broke the bank in anime. You realize there was 153 shows that year?
How many are airing this year?
Less than that so far,
Okay.
I believe. But like in 2012, there were only, I have a list here, 144. So it's growing. But you got to think, in 2001, there were only 69 shows. By 2006, there was 153, and then it drops off to where now it's starting to get back up there. But in the first 10 years, in the first decade of 2006 was the year. So
Wow.
maybe something about that. Or why the late 90s were the best years anime ever had. Or had some of the best anime ever. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
1998 was a spectacular year for anime.
Yeah, but
In
I
terms of
always see
quality.
I always see those panels. That's the problem, though. Is that because everyone's like, oh yeah, anime of yesteryear was always the best anime, so therefore I'm gonna give you montages. Though it's like,
No, I'm just saying you could just go through influential. Like you have Cowboy Bebop.
yeah, again, I've seen these panels before. That's why
Oh,
I'm saying
I'm just saying.
you got to think outside the box.
What's that?
You got to think outside the box.
Outside the box. Well, you're talking about what
Yes.
kind of things I enjoy. If I could run, or things I would know about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think looking, or even then, there's an article that I need to finish up with the help of somebody about the trends and adaptations, or not adaptation. Trends in anime. How many trends? What things are being adapted? Manga, visual novel. What types of things are being adapted more often? Things like that. Trends and adaptations, I think, would be interesting.
So it's like a statistical study.
In a way.
Oh wow, that'd be impressive. If you actually used like numbers and stats, like based off like which publishers are like convert the most manga to anime, that would
That
actually be
that
pretty
gets
cool.
now that's a lot of effort. But yeah, right
But
now
it'd
it's
be
just
one hell of a panel.
it would be.
All right,
All right,
all right.
moving on.
Next set.
Arrow, which anime waifu would you marry in real life? I
Well,
think I know the answer to this.
I mean that's a stupid question because the whole point of a waifu is your wife, right? That's pretty stupid. Um, well, I mean I took it more as in if this person actually existed in real life, who would I marry? Um, I guess I don't know. Senju when she's actually old enough. I mean, back then when I watched Bakemonogatari, I was what? When I was 2000, that came out 2009. I didn't pick it up till 2011. So 18 to 21-year-old person, I guess that could have made sense. Right now, no, it's not. Looking kind of sketchy.
How about this? Imagine that all your characters are at least 18.
Well, yeah, then I said definitely Central O'Hara.
All
Oh,
right.
well, yeah, I don't want to date. I really don't want to date an 18-year-old at this point in my life, though. But there aren't many characters that are actually old enough that I would want to date. That's the problem.
Well, that's a whole topic for another time about underage characters in anime, but we won't go into
Yeah,
that tonight.
yeah, it's kind of depressing.
That's an entire show in itself.
Well, why do you think all my fucking like favorite Idol Master characters they're all over age of 18?
Ah, you're not a pedophile. I'm proud of you.
You just now realize this?
And then for me, which anime waifu does your wife resemble? So I don't know how to exactly take this. Is it personality? Is it looks?
Go with. Well, she's Korean, right? So
She's
let's
Korean,
go.
so she's naturally Asian looking.
Yeah, but anime characters aren't Asian looking though.
That's a whole nother subject in itself, isn't it? We're not
So
going
I
to
guess.
touch that one tonight.
All right, let's go with personality wise then.
Personalities. So it's got to be a character that is support. She's more on the. She's not a Soon. She's more of a Yawn on
That's
the
kind
Dare
of.
cycle. You know what I mean?
Wait, you're married a yandere?
Like she's not afraid to beat the shit out of me.
That's not a yandere. That is not a yandere, dude.
I'm trying to get my dares straight here. Somebody made a nifty chart, and I should go look at it again. But
Well, being soon is like being haughty. Like,
well, Soon is the one where they're afraid their violent outbursts with cower. She's definitely not that.
I mean, a yandere is like from Mirai Nikki, like not Mirai Nikki.
Crazy obsessive.
Yeah,
No,
Mirai
she's
Nikki.
not
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I mean, if she's more on the sadistic side, it's probably better just to go with soon.
Gotcha. Wife most resemble.
Come on, dude. You're supposed to have this answer before the show
I've been thinking
starts.
about it for a while. I can't think of anything because I can't think of character names very well. I'm terrible with names, and so remembering character names is always hard for me.
Is it like that blonde girl from that one mecha show?
That blonde. How about more like? Do you watch Nisekoi or do you read Nisekoi?
Yeah, I read Nisekoi.
So somebody,
Chitoge?
huh?
Chitoge?
No, not the blonde.
Oh.
Well, maybe more like the blonde. Definitely confident. Yeah, more like that, I guess. I would put it that way.
Wait. Who were you gonna say though?
Maybe Ondera, but not really, because my wife can't cook. But
Oh,
Ondera can't cook either, can she?
at least she can make it look nice though.
True. All right, next question.
Do it. Wait, I thought that was it.
Oh, hype machine. Du-du-du-du.
Yay! Everyone, go get your friends. We're gonna talk about next season now.
All right, man. This is you
Let's
brought
go.
this one in. Let's go. Tell me about it.
I can't see the show. You got to change the slide.
It's the
So tell me what
Stella.
it is.
It's the girls who shoot each other with BB guns.
Oh, okay. C3 Boo or
C3.
C. It don't get it confused with the C cubed because it's not C cubed. So C3 Boo. It's essentially. So what happens is it's about these girls who enter a high school, and they join a club that's all about airsoft. So airsoft rifles, essentially taking standard military guns like your G3s, your M16s, all that stuff, but then putting it in airsoft, and then essentially to them battling it out. The unique thing about this is that I guess the reason why this is high on my hype machine is not necessarily because it's a good show, but I'm really excited for the fact that, one, there's guns. I like guns. And two, this is actually the first time we'll see an anime from Gainax after essentially what people call its collapse. So for those who don't know, a lot of people at Gainax, Gainax is a legendary studio.
They used to make cool stuff.
Yeah, they used to make cool stuff.
TTGL and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Everyone knows that. But essentially, after Penny and Stocking, what happened was that there was kind of like an internal collapse where a lot of the veterans essentially left the studio for reasons unknown. It could just be fallout from the Blame game. We don't know. But essentially, a lot of the major staff members left. So this is Gainax Studio with the classic studio name, but we don't know what they're capable of. So this is the first show in a long time that they're actually going to be doing a show. And it's essentially an original show too. So, I mean, technically you can consider this an manga adaptation, but the manga was already designed to coincide with the release of the show. So, as of this point, there's only 2 volumes of the manga out, and I guess by the time the show comes around, then that's when the third volume will hit.
Hmm.
So, what exactly? I mean, it's an unusual model to follow as far as anime adaptations go, or as originals, because usually when you do an original, the manga follows suit after the anime, not vice versa.
Mhm.
So, again, I'm curious. I really want to know what's going to come out of this. I mean, is it Upote? But like, because I really like Upote. Say what you want about Upote. I really liked Upote. The gun jokes were top notch. It knew its shit. So, I mean, will they do the same thing, or is it just gonna be cute girls fucking around and kind of pissing me off? I don't know. Also, the character designs, they look like shit now too, which kind of concerns me. But go ahead, your turn.
I know nothing about the show, so you gave me an education.
Okay.
I haven't,
Well,
done,
I
I
mean,
haven't done a lot of my research on some of these interesting shows. I took it as to being a Pote knockoff, so we'll have to see where it lies in that spectrum.
well, again, it's focused more on girls doing airsoft, not girls being guns. There's a clear difference right there. Because at least with Upote, the focus was on the gun jokes whenever there was comedy. So that's why I enjoyed it. This one's just about girls shooting things. I mean, if it turns out to be like a Black Lagoon with no blood, then by all means I'll be entertaining. But at the same time, I'm getting mixed messages because they released a trailer about a few months ago, like back in early March, where it was a very jazzy, sassy kind of trailer. Where you didn't really see any animation, you just saw the character designs, but it had a very Cowboy Bebop-esque opening. And so that's why I was really thrilled at the time. But then now that I see these character designs, they don't match at all of what the trailer originally showed.
Mhm.
So I don't know what Gynax is doing. I don't know if maybe that's like maybe like Gynax is like flopping over on its like belly right now. I really do not know what's going on. But I mean, all this turmoil and all this nonsense is keeping me curious. Hence why it's high on the hype meter.
All right, let's move on.
Do it.
Silver Spoon, a very popular manga now being adapted to an anime. We're both on the moderate side. I have tempered expectations. How about that?
Okay, how about you tell people what Silver Spoon is?
See, I haven't even read it yet, which is I've wanted to read it, but I have held off to watch the anime. This is one of the first times I've actually done that. Usually I'll pound through the manga and try to catch up.
Mhm.
So, but Silver Spoon is about. Let me find it here.
I can give a synopsis. Okay.
You have it handy? Go for it then. I had one handy.
No,
so
I'll
I
just
grabbed
say
it.
No, I just did my research. That's why. So essentially, what you see right there, if you notice, first of all, if you can actually see it, these character designs are very, very familiar. It's for those who've seen Full Metal Alchemist, because essentially it's the same manga artist. So instead of doing one about Philosopher's Stones, this one centers around essentially a college-age boy. Went through high school with a breeze, top honors and all that stuff, but he didn't exactly know what he wanted to do. So what he did is he decided to join an agriculture college solely for the fact that if he were to graduate, he would be graduating on top honors. At least that's what he thought. So essentially, this is another fish out of water tale. Notice how I really like that phrase, fish out of water,
Yes.
where you take a city boy and you put him essentially in a farm setting. So he'll make friends, learning about animals, learning about agriculture, farming, irrigation, all that jazz. So it's like Moyashimon for those who don't care about brewing things, but care more about agriculture. It's probably the best way of putting it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Like I said, I have moderate expectations just from the synopsis I've read before, the one you just gave, plus fellow writers here at Anime Audiolog really enjoyed the manga. So I have moderate, tempered expectations.
Well, so yeah, the manga's popular. So assuming the studio actually sticks to the source material, assuming is a key word,
Yes.
then it should be a decent show. A1 Pictures is picking this one up, and I usually have faith in A1 Pictures. Again, say what you want about like the recent works, but I actually do like what A1 Pictures does. And not to mention, it's refreshing in the fact that we're not dealing with high school, we're not dealing with like harems. And it's very out there. I mean, hence that's why it's on Noitamina, I guess. You know, it doesn't fit your typical anime show. So
Which is what
that's
we
enough.
need.
That's enough to get me moderate. But considering how I don't know much about the story, I don't want to spoil myself, and nor do I know much about the studio because they haven't announced any of the big names or the studio heads as far as who's running the project. Again, I can only be excited for so much.
Next up,
Yes.
Free.
All right. How about you lead this one then?
How about I can give it my sarcastic synopsis.
Then do that.
It's about 5 boys on a swim team who wear barely any clothes for most of the show.
Wow, you could totally get more sarcastic than that. My turn.
Go for it.
It's about 5 dudes getting wet on each other.
Ooh.
I
So
win.
this is
Boom goes
an
the
attempt by Kiyoani to try something a little different. Instead of having female group of 5, they have male group of 5. So it's instead of cute girls doing cute things, it's Fujoshis doing cute things.
Well, again, I want to keep my expectations. See, I'm keeping mine low simply for the fact that it's not because of like what everyone's claiming to be Fujoshi bait or the fact that it's about, 5 males doing cute things. I just really don't care about swimming. Like they're not Michael Phelps, and they're not America winning, so I really just don't care about swimming. And it's not against KyoAni or anything. It's not against the subject material at all. It's just it's not my thing. But shows have proven me wrong before, so it's not like I'm gonna ignore this one completely. That's why it's a low.
I'm not even going to give it a chance.
Well,
Nothing about this show interests me at all.
I mean, yeah, I think saying you're not going to give something a chance, I feel like is very narrow-minded of you. Again,
See, I have to look at this from a perspective where I get to devote about my time to about 5 shows a season. I think there are 5 better shows than this.
I think you can do more than 5. You just choose not to do more than 5. Second, again, you don't know which shows you're going to like. First, for all we know, Silver Spoon, which you're moderately excited about, could just be shit.
It could be.
And then this
I'm
show
not
could,
doubting that at all.
and then this show could be like the greatest of the season. Well, maybe second greatest, or third greatest, or fourth greatest. The point is that this could actually be one of the shows that you wanted to watch. I mean, it is about sports, and we do like our sports. I mean, it's
I like
not a
sports.
football.
Okay, this is something we're getting into another time.
Again, we don't know anything about the story, so it's something you should at least try. I mean, if it turns out they can do sports drama well, then, I mean, for all we know, this
How
could
about
be
this? I will give this show a chance if non-Fujoshis say it's good.
Look, I'm just saying you always should give something a chance.
And I do.
I mean, because if I were to listen to everyone else's word, I wouldn't be watching what quote-unquote harm shit.
Yeah, but see, I gave K-On! A chance, and I kick myself in the ass every time for that.
Well, okay,
you 12 episodes of what the fuck?
Okay, but you don't know. You can't say that's what's going to be. The studio, like, sure, it's the same studio, but it's not the same exact staff. It's not even the same exact writer. We don't even know what the story's about.
All right. I'll give you that it should.
I'm just saying, unless
be given a chance.
Unless the show somehow offends you in some manner, 1, you got personal problems that you need to get fixed. 2, that's the only legitimate reason that you should not watch a show, or at least give it a shot.
All right,
Joe, I'm just saying, gotta keep your mind open.
It is, but it's just I don't think it's going to be. Like I said, 5 shows a season. I can legitimately devote time to it.
I didn't think Shihiro Furu would be good because I didn't know what Karuto was.
But I wouldn't consider that a sports anime, but that's a whole nother matter.
It is a sports anime.
Competition, yes. Sports, no. Do you consider cheerleading a sport?
No.
Okay, then. Point proven. Moving on.
Wait, no. What are you talking about? Like, sport is a competition,
No,
right?
competition and sport are completely different things.
I mean, they discuss the physical nature of, like, the athletes, quote-unquote athletes, in Chihiro Furu. It's not about them slapping cards. They actually talk about the training, the physical training, the mental training. It's a non-traditional sport, but I would still consider
competitions. Not all competitions are sports.
But I would still consider it a sports anime, though.
I would consider it a competition anime. Two different things.
Well, then what the fuck? What's a competition anime that's not a sports anime then? Besides Chihaya Furu.
Saki, Chihaya. Those are all competitions without being sports.
I still think that Chihaya Furu, it naturally follows like most sports and shonen models as far as like the story progression.
All right. So our last show of the night, The World God Only Knows, Season 3. You have it as a moderate, I have it as a high. So we talked about our guilty pleasures being harem-esque shows. This show is probably one of my guilty pleasure type shows. It's a harem show. I'm not too fond of most of the time, but this one I do enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the problem though, is that so I watched the first season. I thought it was pretty good, and it was so good that actually would convince me to read the manga. That was actually Kami no Mi is actually the first manga I picked up. Surprising, right? And then I watched the second season, and the second season was still good. I was very surprised by how much they improved. But the fact was that I still essentially knew what the stories were gonna. I knew what it boiled down to at the end of the day. I knew how things were gonna get resolved. So this one, it is the goddess arc, and I'm really excited about the goddess arc because that was perhaps the best arc of the entire.
It is the best.
It is the best arc of the entire manga series so far. But at the same time, well, it was. I've already seen it now. Like, I can't be spoiled by that much. Because even when Kami no Mi Season 2 was airing, I didn't actually get to the goddess arc. I was essentially following what the anime was showing.
Okay.
But now that I'm actually fully spoiled, like 100%, I don't know. Meh.
Okay.
We'll see.
I just want to see my favorite arc animated.
Yeah, I mean,
That's where I'm at.
I like the character designs. I like the voice acting or the voice actresses. It's everything that interests me about season 3 of Kami no Mi is everything but the arc because I actually know how the story is done. And the worst part is that I feel bad because I'll now be comparing it to how the manga did it as opposed to how the anime does it on its own. So, whatevs. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely gonna watch this, and it's probably going to be on like Anime Power Rankings for at least 1 week. But at the same time, if I didn't spoil myself, I would be more pumped.
Okay. I'm going to watch it because it's my favorite arc. I want to see it through. It's a fun show, etc., etc.
Yeah.
All right, man. My frustration level is coming to an end. We're near the end of the show.
Okay.
What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. One, I can't believe the Heat won. Two,
Really?
I can't believe
you didn't see that one coming?
the Spurs had 2 chances to win, and they lost both of them in the final minutes.
Yep.
One or two, I actually didn't see the Blackhawks. I did not see that at all. Congratulations to them. I did not see
Now I
that
wish
one
I could
coming.
have watched that final game though. Holy crap!
Yeah, apparently that was a big one. Apparently this was the biggest, the greatest postseason of hockey ever. But I'm not really a big fan of hockey. I guess as far as anime related final thoughts, because we're on an anime talk. Friday Anime Podcast will be doing a season preview. So if you want more than the 8 shows that we've highlighted so far, I suggest you run over to Deso Ex Machina on Friday, and that podcast will be up then.
So we're going to have our anime audiolog season preview podcast up early next week.
All right. I'm
My
ready.
final thoughts. I hate XSplit and Ustream. So if you see a new link to a new site in the near future, that's why.
We're going to be on Twitch TV.
You could do Twitch. All right.
Then we could do it on our Xbox.
As Aero just mentioned, Friday Anime Podcast. There's the
Yes.
feed.
It's like the greatest podcast ever. You should check it out.
So I have some little bit of upsetting news. I guess sad news, not upsetting. On the Clock will be no more. As of this week, the final podcast will go out and the show will be over. pending maybe refresh, renew, something. But they are deciding to stop for now.
Sadness.
So, send your regards to Kevo and Akira. But as for right now, On the Clock will be no more. But you can find this show and others at animeaudiolog.wordpress.com. There are links on the page for podcast feeds. You can also find them at iTunes, YouTube, and if you want to be a guest, or if you're interested in being a podcaster or writer for Anime Audiolog, there's the email address. All right, that's it, man.
Bye.
See ya.